Elon Musk lawyers have sent Twitter the second notice to terminate his deal to buy the company, citing totally separate reasons based on the allegations made by the whistleblower and Twitter's former head of security, Peter Zatko. Musk's attorney pointing to Zatko's allegation that Twitter violated its 2011 FTC consent decree regarding user data privacy, alleging that Twitter deceived regulators about the decree, to which it's vulnerable to disruption from data center failures or, quote, malicious actors, and also that Twitter agreed to demands by the Indian government that the company hire its agents and be given access to Twitter's user information. Now, Zatko's allegation do not support Musk's first argument for terminating the deal, but Musk's camps say they do believe that the second termination notice is not legally necessary, but it is in addition to and not in lieu of their original argument. Twitter responding, saying, quote, as was the case with your July 8th, 2022 purported notice of termination, the purported termination set forth in your August 29th letter is invalid and wrongful under the agreement. Now, the question is what kind of impact this is going to have on the trial that is set to start on October 17th. Wedbush analyst Dan Ives tells us, quote, ultimately, the Zatko development and timing is a huge potential win for Musk, which could complicate the Twitter case. Up until the Zatko development, the street was factoring in Twitter to have a clear win in the Delaware courts in October. Ives says, and investors seem to agree that for now, Twitter stock will continue to trade on deal odds as the battle begins to play out in court. Guys?
Now, Julia, I know you're not a lawyer. At least I'm pretty sure you're not a lawyer. But I'm going to ask this anyway, because maybe you've talked to some people who are connected to lawyers in this case. This lawsuit is based on Elon Musk's first letter and termination claim. So this other one is just sort of like a backup. He would have to file a separate lawsuit, it seems, based on this entirely different argument on why they're never, ever getting together.
Well, I appreciate the musical reference there, John. But I think that, yes, I'm not a lawyer. But what I understand is they're saying if the first case does not work, we are saying that Twitter did not hold up its end of the bargain. And that's what it comes down to. They didn't hold up their end of the bargain. The first argument was about revealing information about bots and spam accounts. This argument is really centered, I think, first and foremost on the idea that Twitter violated its consent decree with the FTC. So a lot more is going to come out here. Obviously, they've been in touch with the FTC. This is not the first time we've heard about Twitter's relationship with the FTC. But there's this question about whether they are in such violation of this FTC consent decree when it comes to protecting user data, that would be a whole nother argument for why Musk should not have to buy the company. So I think there's this question about whether or not this will change the timing of the case, whether or not Musk's camp will get more time for discovery. Zatko has been subpoenaed by both sides here, but the trial is, as of now, set for October 17th, and we'll see whether this has an impact in delaying that. It's certainly possible.
Hey, Julia, one thing that's picking up a little bit of steam this morning is the notion, actually the watch that is on watch now to see if, in fact, Musk files suit in federal court alleging fraud, which would then be a huge escalation in this. Is that something that people are watching?
I mean, we never know what Elon Musk is going to do. I'm also constantly watching his Twitter account. Certainly his lawyers would prefer if this all plays out in court and not on Twitter, but he could weigh in on this at any moment. And he certainly has commented sort of subtly on all of these different factors, certainly since the whistleblower came out. But so I think what's interesting here is that, yes, he could file again. I think that right now the Delaware case is what's in focus, and that's going to presumably move forward. But yeah, we never know what Elon Musk is going to do.
You got to have those Twitter notifications on for Elon Musk's account. You never know what's going to come. Julia, thank you.